Welcome to Astro Science Academy, and today in this video we're going to discuss on how to answer geometric sequence. So geometric sequence can be defined by Tn is equal to a r to the power of n minus 1, right? So now this is our general formula, so we'll be using this formula a lot. So first let's understand this formula, right? So now we have a, so the value of a indicates the first term of the sequence, the first term of the sequence, right? R indicates the common ratio, is the common ratio, right? So now N indicates the position, is the position of the term, and Tn indicates our general formula, is the general formula, right? So once we understand this, we can be able to answer our questions, right? So now over here, let's have a look at this worked example, right? So over here they said consider 96, 48, 24 and 12, right? So as you can see, there are 4 terms over here, right? And question 1 says state the values of the next 3 terms. So they want, so this is T1, T2, T3, T4. So now they want T5, T6 and T7. So how are we going to get that? So in order for us to get those values first, we will need a common ratio. We need to identify the common ratio. So now our common ratio, we are going to say T2 divided by T1, right? And then we're going to say T3 divided by T2, and we are going to say T4 divided by T3, right? So the answer that you get over here should be the same here and here. So once it's the same throughout, that will indicate your common ratio, right? So now let's have a look. So T2 will be 48 divided by T1, which is 96, right? Which is going to give you 1 over 2. And T3, which is 24 all over 48, which is going to give you 1 over 2, right? So please use your calculators over here. And T4 over T3, that will be 12 all over 24, that will give you 1 over 2. So now, as you can see, the common ratio over here now is the same throughout. So this is known as a common ratio R. So now we can have 1 over 2 here, we can have 1 over 2 here, and we can also have 1 over 2 here. So now, in order for us to get the common ratio, in order for us to get the next term, we are going to take the common ratio, multiply with the next term, right? So if you said half times 48, that will give you 24, which is the following term, right? So we can test out over here with our calculator. So if you said half times 48, it gives you 24, right? So now, if you said now half times 24, that will give you 12. So now if you said half times 12, that will give you what? 6, as you can see. So now same thing over here, 6 divided by 12, that gives you 1 over 2. Now half times 6, that will give you 3, right? So now 3 divided by 6, that's 1 over 2. 1 over 2 times 3, that will give you 3 over 2, right? So now our values, you're going to write it in this way. You're going to say T5 is equal to 6, T6 is equal to 3, and T7 is equal to 3 over 2, right? So you're going to leave your answer like that. So now we are done answering question 1, right? So now we are going to say determine the formula for the nth term of the sequence, right? So now we're going to say Tn is equal to a r to the power of n minus 1, right? So now Tn is equal to a r to the power of n minus 1. So how are we going to answer that now, right? So a is the first term, which is what? 96, as you can see, right? 96. Now r is a common ratio, which is half. We got it above here, right? So you're going to say that 1 over 2 to the power of n minus 1, right? So remember to put brackets. Remember to put brackets, right? Because over here indicate, because a and r are not together, right? A is the outer coefficient, and r to the power of n is another term on its own, right? So the next thing over here you need to know is do not multiply this inside. Do not multiply this inside, right? So now you're going to leave your answer like this, right? Don't multiply this inside. So now question 3 now, right? Question 3 says determine the value of the 10th term, right? So the value of the 10th term, so now they want T10, right? T10. So now you're gonna say n is equal to 96, 1 over 2 to the power of n. N is n minus 1. So we have T10 is equal to 96, 1 over 2 to the power of 10 minus 1, which will give you what? So now you can take out your calculators, right? So let's punch that in. There we go. Let's punch this in. So now we're going to say 96, open bracket, 1 over 2, close bracket, to the power of 10 minus 1, right? And our final answer came in as 3 all over 16, right? So now let's answer our final question, right? So now question 4 says which term has the value of 3 over 64? 3 over 64. So now this is n. They are looking for n, right? So they gave us Tn. Tn is 3 over 64. So the key words over here when they're asking for which term, right? Which term, they're normally looking for n, right? So now they gave us Tn, which is 3 over 64. So now we're going to say Tn is equal to 96, 1 over 2 to the power of n minus 1. So Tn is 3 all over 64 is equal to 96, 1 over 2, n minus 1. So now we are going to divide by 96 and divide this side by 96. Remember, do not try and multiply this inside. It does not work like that. These are two different terms. So the first thing you have to do is remove this outer coefficient, which is 96, right? So you're going to divide both sides. So it's going to cancel here and cancel here, right? And then we are going to be left with, so let's take our calculator. So now you're going to say 3 over 64, right? Divide by 96, and that gives you 1 over 2048, right? So that gives you 1 over 2048, which will be equal to 1 over 2 to the power of n minus 1. So now this will be written as 1 all over. This 2048 can be written as 2 to the power of 11, right? Which is equal to 1 over 2 to the power of n minus 1, right? So now this again this is just algebra, right? So this can be written as 1 all over 2 to the power of 11, right? Which is equal to 1 over 2 to the power of n minus 1, right? So now I changed in this form so I could have both have the same base, so that this and this can cancel out, and I'll be left with 11 is equal to n minus 1. Now transpose 1 this side, so it will be 11 plus 1 is equal to n. So therefore n is equal to 12 as our final answer. So remember again, n cannot be in fraction, n cannot be in decimals, n cannot be negative. So n has to be a positive integer, and this will be your final answer. So guys, thank you guys for attending, and I'll catch you guys next time. So take care.